In this lesson, we will be looking a little bit more at circles, and we're going to sort of go the other way around this time, okay? So, we've got an equation for a circle here. You can tell that because you have an x that's being squared and a y that's being squared. And when you have an x and a y squared, that is indicative that you have a circle. And so, just a reminder that the basic formula for a circle goes x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals your radius squared. Okay, and so what's plugged in for h and k is right here. And just remember that your center is h comma k. Okay, so your center is -4 and, or it looks like -4 and -1, but when you pull it out of the parentheses, it's actually the opposite, because the 4 right here replaces the h, the minus and the minus get matched up. So basically the h is 4 and the k is 1. Okay? And then right here, your 9 is your radius squared, and so obviously if r squared is 9, then r is 3. Okay, so now you can graph this circle. The center is at 4, 1. And the radius is 3, so you will go up 3, and left 3, and down 3, and right 3. And there is how the radius of the circle will go. Alright, here's another one. Again, if you're looking for your h and your k, this is like having x plus 0 squared right there. So your h is 0, and your k is a positive 3. If it were plus right here, when you pull it out of the parentheses, it would be a negative 3. But it is a positive 3 right here. Your radius squared is 1. So if your radius squared is 1, then obviously your radius is 1. Technically it's positive or negative 1, but you can't have a negative radius, so we're just going with positive. And when you graph this, 0, 3 looks like this. Your radius is 1, so I will go up 1, left 1, down 1, right 1 to be able to connect my circle, and it will look like that. Alright, this one is also the equation of a circle, but it is not in the format that we need to be able to pull the center and the radius out of it. So what we need to do is we actually need to complete the square, and we need to complete the square with the x, and we need to complete the square with the y. Okay, so this is what you're going to do. You're going to group things that have an x in them. So I'm going to group this and this together. So I will have x squared plus 8x, and then I'm going to put a blank behind it right there. Okay, and then I will group things that have a y in them together. And so I'm going to put that in between here. And then I will put y squared, and then minus 6y, and then plus a blank right here. Okay, and then on the other side, you want all of your constants. I don't have any constants to move in this case, but on the other side, I want my constants over there. Right now, I just have equals 0. All right, and then I am going to put a blank for the x. This blank right here and this blank right here balance each other out. So I need a blank for that, and then I need a blue blank for my y's. Okay, so I need this blank and this blank will balance each other out. And now you're going to just kind of think of completing the square twice. Okay, so I will do it once with my x's, and so I will take half of that, half of b, half of the middle number is, half of 8 is 4, so I will have x plus 4 squared, square the 4 and get 16, and so I will put 16 in my blank here and 16 in my blank here. Okay. Then I will do the same thing with my y's, and so when I complete the square with my y's, then half of -6 is -3, so I'll have y minus 3 squared, and -3 squared is 9, so 9 goes in this blank and this blank so that they balance each other out. Okay, so that's what that will look like. And then on the right, 16 plus 9 is 25. Now it's in the right format that I can pretty easily pull my center and my radius out. Alright, so my center will be -4, 3, and my radius will be the square root of 25, which is 5. Alright, and so when I plot this, it should not be a problem now. -4, 3, radius of 5. So 5 up, 5 down, 5 left, 5 right. should look like this. I might have counted wrong, but there you go. All right, one more like that just so that you can kind of see another example and make sure you've got this down. Again, we want to group anything that has an x in it together first. So I want to group those two together. So x squared plus 4x plus a blank. Okay. And by the way, this 8, this constant, needs to be moved over to the other side. So I know I'm going to have, when I move that to the other side, 8 plus, and then I'm going to leave a blank here for my my red that matches up. All right. And now I need to group my y's together. So when I group my y's together, I will have just simply y squared right here, and I have no other y's to combine it with, so I actually don't need to complete the square on my y's. I can just leave that piece of it. I don't need to do anything, and I can go from there. Okay? So now, your x's, though, you need to complete the square with. So half of 4 right here is 2, so I will have x plus 2 squared. When I square 2, I get 4. That's what goes in this blank, and I need to balance it out on the other side, so I'll have one there as well. And then, of course, I have plus y squared. And then on the other side, I have 12. Okay? So now, you can see that your center comes from here, and this is like plus 0 back here. So your center will be -2, 0. And then your radius will be the square root of 12, which when you break that down, your radius will become 2 root 3. Okay? So that's what the technical term for your radius is. But you sort of need it, just in order to be able to graph it, you need to know what a decimal value is for 2 root 3 or square root 12. And so the decimal value for the square root of 12 I'm putting this in my wrong, I'm trying to get it on my calculator, so hang tight here. The decimal value for the square root of 12 is 3.46, okay? The 2 root 3 or the square root of 12, just as a decimal, this is 3.46. This is the answer that I want when you ask me for when I give you radius, but when you graph it, you kind of need a decimal to be able to estimate where it is. So my center is at -2, 0. And then my radius is the square root of 12, which is 3.46. 3.5 is close enough. So I'm going to go 3.5 up, 3.5 left, 3.5 down, and 3.5 right. And it should look like that. And there's your circle. And that will do it for this lesson.